Hello everyone and welcome. If you are new to the channel, I am Sammy and I will be reading outside of my comfort zone for the month of May. I will be reading contemporary romance and I kind of regret this, but I thought I would entertain you guys by my reaction to romance books. I have read books with romance in them, and so I have read like romantic suspense books. I enjoy those. I've read romantasy, I've read historical fiction, or I guess historical romance, but not contemporary romance. It is not a genre that intrigues me at all. So I thought I would try some different ones and see how I feel. Um yeah, it's just not a genre that intrigues me. Also, it's when it comes to romance, sometimes it can push boundaries of what people are comfortable with in reading. So, yeah. A little bit about me. I am a Christian who reads, so it influences what I read and what I'm okay with reading. I also am a big time math and science nerd. I geek out about it. I nerd out with people. It's a big thing. um, and I feel like I'm in school. What else? Fun fact about me. I'm in my early 20s. I do need to mention that I will be reading mainly romance books, but I am in the middle of Anne of Green Gables. My hand was on the microphone. That sucks. I will be reading Anne of Green Gables alongside, because one does not simply put down Anne of Green Gables for a month. I love this book. I need to keep reading it. So I will be reading that alongside the other books. Yes, my nerd is coming out. Another fact about me, I have a very peculiar sense of humor. Not everyone gets it. If you get it, you're in the club. You know, if IYK. So the first book I am starting with, and I am like 15% through, is the one with the kiss cam by Cindy Steele. This is a book that so many booktube friends have loved and have recommended, and I was scared to try this one, but I'm feeling in a dangerous mood. Watch out, I'm feeling in a dangerous mood. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read this book and you can't stop me. This is a no spice rom-com about a kiss cam. As far as Steam levels, I don't know. I guess I'll find out. So I am like 15% through of this book. How do I feel? It's okay. Like, I can get how people who like rom-coms would like this book. For me, it's like I like it, but I'm not like oh, I need to read the next chapter. Overall, I just feel like this book is bizarre. I cannot get over the fact that there's two people who meet at a basketball game, and there's a kiss cam at a basketball game. Why? I thought it was only hockey. Apparently there too. And the crowd really wants, okay, the girl is on a Tinder date with a gross dude to her left. To her right is this hot dude. And of course she picks the right dude and feels more comfortable around him. Happens to be single, which I don't know. I think that's a coincidence, because yeah, I don't know. The chances of that being, I don't get it. But there's a kiss cam and the crowd really wants the woman and the man to her right to kiss, and so they end up doing that, and then they hit it off, and the woman is like, so I have this test and I want to do well in this test, and it's 11:30, so I need to go home and I need to study and get rest so I can do well in this test. And to me that sounds that sounds about right. That's what I would do too. And this man is like, you know what? We need to check off all these items on your bucket list. And I'm like, what? He just wants to like party all night. I mean, not party, but like he wants to have fun because she's going to move off. So he's like, let's just have fun. And I'm sitting here thinking, are you okay? Like I understand being spontaneous, but that's just feels a little much. Like okay, I guess it is fun. They check a couple of things off their bucket list. Um but it just feels bizarre. I'm like, I cannot imagine. Personally, I cannot imagine. Welcome to the corner of my room. It is morning of May 6th, and I may or may not have just woken up an hour ago, so, huh. But I finished the book, and I have thoughts. So buckle up. Oh man. Um, I do want to mention, I think how I found out about this book was mainly through Christy A. Cole because she talks about this book a lot. So I will be talking about a lot of different channels, so I will link them down below. I know a bunch of others have read this book too. So I'm gonna talk about my thoughts and yeah, never in a thousand years did I think I'd be reviewing rom-coms, but here we are. Okay. Oh man. Got the glasses on. I have my notes down here if it that's why I'm looking down. Okay. All right. Um I'll just go ahead and say my rating. I'm like between 3 and 3.5 stars. Maybe I'll do like 3.25. I don't know. We'll see. Um oh, I will put content and trigger warnings in the description if you want to check that out. I will talk generally about it, but I'll put that stuff down below. So these are some notes I put down. Feels bizarre. Love at first kiss? Question mark. She puts too much trust in a stranger. Um, Duke has an obsession with bucket lists. I do have some things that might be kind of spoilery. I'll put that towards the end, and I'll mention it if you do want to read this book and you don't want to know anything. Um, there were like a few swears, not too much, but there were a few. This was this book had like deeper elements than I was expecting, like of talking about like your parents and like the legacy that your parents leave um and also like money and you choose your own path. There were some deeper elements in this book that I was not expecting, which I liked. Duke's grandparents were fun. Okay, so as far as like content, this is like a no spice book. The kissing was honestly not really descriptive, but there was some steam in it. I don't okay. You guys will have to tell me because I don't know, but I don't know if this is something that's in rom-coms a lot or in like romance books a lot, but there was like this weird thing where it was like it was like kissing is a language and like the the main character, Nora, she was like narrating like, oh yeah, we were like communicating through our kissing. I was like, what? Oh man. Oh, I found a bug. But I was like, what? But I was reading that and I was like almost about to puke. So that was nice. Like girl, I don't want to know what the alphabet is. But yeah, overall like the content, I wouldn't say the content was like bad, honestly, but there was a little bit of like lingering looks, like lingering glances, and like yeah, the we were communicating through our kissing. That was weird. Um, what are my okay? Do I have any other spoilery things? Things that kind of that I do want to talk about. I don't know how much of a spoiler. Um, some things that I noticed, and maybe it was explained. If you want to skip ahead to this time, you can skip ahead to this time. If you don't want to hear some things I have to say. Um, first of all, so like Nora and Duke through their work, they're communicating by like pop. I live in the Midwest. Pop cans, and they put like notes underneath, and they're like communicating. And so Nora, she's like communicating, like giving Duke Coke cans. And my first thought is Coke does not come out of nowhere. Is she buying these? Because she is very tight on money. So how in the world, where is she getting this money to buy? It was a lot too, like a lot of Coke cans, and she's just like, it's like you don't need to do this. Like maybe it was explained in the book and I missed it. Maybe it was, or maybe like I don't think these Coke cans were lying about, so she had to buy them. And I was like, why are you spending your money on this? You literally you were struggling, you don't have much money. You're struggling to pay your bills because you just like your mom is making you pay for her stuff, and then you have all these student bills, and that was really weird, really confusing for me. Um Also Duke sometimes was a little much. Like there were times where he like I feel like Nora would say one thing and he would kind of react the opposite way. Like I mentioned before, she was like, "Oh yeah, I have this test tomorrow," and he's like, "Okay, we're gonna spend our whole night just like having fun and marking things off our bucket list," which was like the opposite response. And then, so Nora and Duke, they like each other. Uh, they were heading back to the the where they live. I don't know where, from Duke's grandparents' house, and they're in the truck, and Nora is saying, yeah, so you're my boss. We should probably have some boundaries. Also, you just got out of a serious relationship. How are we gonna proceed from here? And Duke, his reaction, he stops the truck on the highway. He's like, okay, I accept that. Okay, if you want space, we can do that. But then just starts kissing her. Like I I want to clarify, I would never hit a man, but I did want to fight him. There was no. So I didn't like that. That was weird. I just in general, like you can tell it's a fiction book because there was a lot of like Nora's going through some tough things and she needs encouragement, and it just felt like a lot of the kind of like the speeches that Nora was given, they felt like rehearsed. I mean, it's a book, so people are spending time writing it out, editing it, whatever. And so it was like Duke always knew the perfect thing to say, which was a little bit hard for me reading because it just felt so fake, but I guess it helps me to remember that this is fiction. Because if someone were to come up to me and be like, "Hey, I'm really struggling with like my mom has been mentally abusing me and blah blah blah. I need some help." I'm not going to have the perfect speech just up and ready to go. It's going to be like a good encouragement, but there's going to be some sentences that I say that sound really dumb. Because like I'm on the like I don't have time to like rehearse what I'm saying. Like I'm there in the moment. And I think that's what that's what I like about being a human being is we don't have everything rehearsed. We don't know everything. So like reading a book and like the dialogue is like feels almost perfect was a little weird. Um especially like I feel like in romances like every like the all the men all have like a strong sense of empathy, and some men do, but like men generally show empathy differently than women do. Like generally, I'm going to say generally, if you like go up to a man and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm going through something really hard." Generally they're going to be like, "Oh man, that sucks. I'm sorry." And then if you go up to a woman and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm going through a hard time," they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Like, is there anything I can do for you? Like anytime you can call me. We can talk it out, whatever." And both cases, it's showing empathy, but it's just in different ways. And like, of course, like men are not all the same at all. Like, I'm not saying that, but it just feels. It kind of felt like Duke had some like female um characteristics or like I don't know, and he just always had the perfect thing to say. I I think that's a general thing for romance books. Like I generally if you like romance, I think you should try this book. There were some fun parts. There was depth to it. Like I think I do recommend it if you want um yeah. I'm not saying like don't read this. I'm saying I'm super picky. You should read it. And then the next book I will be reading is My Stubborn Heart by Becky Wade. I have the physical copy because I got this from the library. For this one, it was, I want to say mainly Oshina, who I've heard about Becky Wade from. She talks about Becky Wade, and so, um, yeah. This one, I think this was like an ex hockey player. Or was that a different one? Wait. Okay, this doesn't say. I thought this was. Why would I pick this up if it's not about an ex hockey player? Like, okay, so I looked on Google. It is about an ex hockey player. Why would I read it if it's not about an ex hockey player? Um, yeah. So this is a Christian romance. So we'll see how I feel. Um, I'm hoping I'm not bored. I was a little bit bored with the last book. Um, like don't let any of my criticisms get in your head too much. Like if you want to try these books, try these books. I'm just I'm just giving my opinions. um but I love this cover though. It's really cute. That's a really cute cover. Okay. So yeah, I'll give updates with this one. Kate is burned out on work, um, need of an adventure. Um, so she goes to Pennsylvania to restore a grand old house she grew up in. Okay, I will come back with updates. So I just took a shower and then I am eating breakfast. This is homemade bagel. It's pretty good. Um, I'm hoping after I eat this, maybe do some reading. But then I'm calling someone at like, or I'll be calling someone, and then after that, I'm calling someone else. But today is my main day off from work, and so I'm hoping to get stuff done. I have a lot of spring cleaning to do. I have um I want to do a lot of reading as well, so I'm hoping to get stuff done before I go back into work tomorrow. Um so yeah, hopefully maybe we'll get some reading done. Hello everyone. So I have a few updates, reading updates, and then I want to show some books that I'm getting rid of and some things that I bought recently. Today is May 13th, so we're almost halfway there through the month, and honestly, I'm struggling with this challenge. I'm used to always changing up what I'm reading, and so for this challenge, I'm in the same genre. Not only that, but it's romance, and so I'm struggling a little bit because um yeah, I'm struggling. But I have confidence that we'll find one book I like. Even if it takes till the end of the month. One book. So yesterday I was supposed to go into work and they called me off because they said, "Oh, actually we don't need you," which was actually, it was unexpected but also was very nice because I had the day off, and I had yesterday off unexpectedly. I have today off too, so I'm getting some reading done. Yesterday I went to the mall and I don't usually spend money, but I did this time. So I bought some things and I'm going to show you what I bought. I also, yesterday I had a day where I relaxed, which I haven't had in a while. Yeah, last week was busy because I was working two jobs and I did a lot of heavy lifting over the weekend. I am back down to one job. Um, but yeah, and then I saw the Project Hail Mary movie, which it was good. I mean, it wasn't a favorite, but it was very good. There weren't many people in the theater because that movie's been out for a while, so it's kind of nice. I had a lot of like the seats next to me were like all empty, and so I kind of like sprawled out a little bit. It was nice. So from J.C. Penney, they had a big like clearance sale. It was like buy one get one free, like clearance clothing, and so I got this really pretty red dress, and then like there's like the skirt at the bottom. It's really pretty. It's really cute. It was only $16, and then I got another dress free. I wasn't really finding anything else in clearance. I tried on a bunch of things, but a lot of things were like too short or they were too small. But I did find a dress, that same dress, except for a different color and a size down, and so I got that for the get one free, and then I'm giving it to my sister. So that was really good. I got two books from Barnes and Noble. I don't really buy from Barnes and Noble because I don't have money to be buying full priced books. I do not spend money on books much in general, but I am a sucker when it comes to their obscure random like science and like psychology and writing books. You know, like the ones that like this with they have like that sticker on them with the bird, and then it's like a reduced price. Like they have so many random ones of these. Like there's I got the forensic science one, which I'm so excited to read, and then this one is just like physics. I love physics as well. For a period of time, I minored in physics, and then I ended up dropping it, so now I only do math. But um, I love learning about physics. I once dated a physics tutor too, so I love physics. And then I've always had an interest in forensic science. I used to know someone who majored in forensic science, and I didn't really know what it was before that, but yeah, I find it fascinating. It's nothing that I ever had an interest in like doing in college at all, but like there's so many random topics that I have an interest in learning about. So got these two. There was a writing and grammar one that I wanted, but there were more copies of that book. For these books, these were the only copies left, so yeah. And I have that like Barnes and Noble free membership thing, so we'll see what that, maybe I get a free credit, or it's like you spend $50, you get like $1 to $5. It's something like that. I don't ever like buy from Barnes and Noble, but I'm sure I did something because they scanned my card, so some sort of points, you know. Okay. And then I got some small like hair clips that were on sale because I broke some of mine, so I needed new ones. I was like, oh, this is perfect. And then I got also like a bow that like clips in your hair for, it was only a couple bucks. And then I don't know, but that's what I got from the mall. So I want to talk about some books that I will be dehauling. These books were like $6, unless some of them were brand new, some of them were used. So one book I will be uh selling. There's a couple used bookstores that I can sell them to. So when I say dehaul, that means I'm going to try to sell them. If I can't sell it, then I will donate it. So I have Capture the Moment by Suzanne Woods Fisher. Unfortunately, I enjoyed this book, but ended up being, it was 3 or 3.5 stars because it just I don't know, I like the nature of it. I really like the nature of it. I learned things. I learned about bears, stuff like that, but in the long run, it wasn't a favorite book. So that's the reason why I'm donating it, is because I only want to have books that are generally 5 stars or more. So only like my favorite books that I would read again. And so this does not fall into that category. I will be trying to sell this at a bookstore. I know that bigger book houses in the area, so they take books, so they have a whole section on used Christian fiction. So I know someone will probably benefit from this more than I did. Storm Warning by Elizabeth Goddard. This is just one of those that again wasn't a favorite. Like it was, I think it was 3 or 3.5 stars. Yeah, I just wasn't really into it, and it did not fall into that favorite category. So yep. I am very picky with books, so if you guys ever want to see a video where I talk about like my top favorite books, so you can kind of get a sense of what kind of books I actually do like, then let me know, because I'm sure that um that might be beneficial, because I keep talking about books that are like average or like 3 stars, but be nice to talk about ones I actually really do enjoy. So, um, some people are gonna come for me for this one. This one was only 3 or 3.5. It was Dangerous Beauty by Melissa Coslin. I don't know, this was just again not a favorite. I liked Merrick, but I read this a while ago, but like he said this weird thing like, "Oh yeah, when I first saw you, I noticed your personality. It wasn't your looks I fell in love with. It was I wasn't attracted to your looks. It was your personality." And I was like, "That's so false." When you look at someone for the first time, you cannot see their personality. You see their looks, and the main character in this book, she's like gorgeous. She's like a model, whatever. It's called Dangerous Beauty for a reason, and she's had a lot of danger follow her. I feel like there was just not communication going on. Like, just talk to each other about your feelings, and then there is a topic in here about like marriage and attraction in marriage, and but also like there's trauma. So there were some interesting conversations, and I felt like that mixed with I to me it felt like there's miscommunication. And I don't know, it just I feel like it's just not my book. Um yeah, this was not my book. But I know so many people love this book. Yeah, it was just it felt this book felt weird to me. Um okay. I know you guys didn't call for this because this is supposed to be me talking about romance books, but I thought I'd break it apart a little bit so it's not just like me criticizing romance as the whole video. Let's let's criticize other books too. Okay, Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. This was a good book, but it just felt younger than what I care to read. Um, I have been growing out of young adult, and this just felt young. It felt young adult, and at the end of the book, I lost interest. I don't have interest in continuing the series, which is a bummer because I bought a used copy of the second book. Um, so yeah, I think this was 3 or 3.5. I don't have interest in continuing it. This it's kind of sad that I'm dehauling this because there were a lot of moments in the book that I really liked, and it talks about how we perceive others, like with what we think is pretty and what we think is ugly, and it also talks about like plastic surgery and stuff. And it really, this book made me think, and I really liked the way that it talked about those topics in a dystopian world. I found that to be really cool, and I really enjoyed that part of it. But overall, it's not a book that I would read again or keep. So yeah, it was clean too for it's young adult, and it was clean. I don't know about the rest of the series. I think the rest of the series is clean. From what I've heard. Mm. Also going to get rid of Eats, Shoots, and Leaves. This is a grammar book, but I read this before in high school and really enjoyed it, but then I was reading again and I just did not have motivation to finish it. If you have been following my Goodreads for maybe months now, it's been saying that I was in the middle of this book. I just I don't care to continue it because there's a lot of like references to old TV shows and movies and just references to all different things that I don't know, and so I kind of felt like left out or like I wasn't really understanding. I think that's the main reason. It's just a lot of references to things I don't know, like shows and different things. So gonna be doing this one. Also, I don't feel like grabbing it, but Danger in the Shadows. I've talked about that one in a previous video. So I have a lot to say. I was reading My Stubborn Heart by Becky Wade, and I'm gonna go through my notes. I have some things I liked, some criticisms. Unfortunately, overall, this was a DNF, and this was probably very like a more personal DNF than I'm gonna say a bunch of critiques because that's what's happening is in this video. A lot of critiques. But if you are a romance reader, I do really recommend this book. I did not read past like 70%, but I do think this was one to add to your TBR because there were a lot of like good elements of this book that were fun. If you are a romance reader, if you are not, then you might fall into the category that I did, especially if you are picky, I would say. All right, I'm looking down at my computer. Okay, let's see. So, something about this book is I really enjoyed the writing. I actually was really enjoying this book up until I DNF'd it. And I thought this book had a lot of potential. I I was really enjoying it, and I really liked the writing style, which I don't. I'm picky with writing style, so if I don't like the writing, or if I do like the writing style, that's a very good news. Um, we have Matt, who he is suffering from trauma because he lost his wife from cancer. He is a man of very few words, and he's kind of grumpy. So Kate decides. Her name is Kate? Is her name actually? I have been reading so many Christian fiction books where the main character is named Kate. Is her name actually Kate? Or there's no way because the book I'm reading right now, her name is Kate. Okay, anyway, she decides she will take time to try to open him up and to help him with his burden, basically. Um I really loved the how they had like the reserved man, and he's a man of few words because I feel like in romance, like a lot of the time it feels like the man is very like confident and charming and flirty, and in this we have someone who is more reserved, and so it was nice to read. There is that like grumpy sunshine aspect of it, which was fun. Um, there were fun elderly people. I loved the elderly people. They were so much fun. Such like a hoot. So if you like elderly people, this has it. There was that's a spoiler. I'll I'll show that at the end. Um so there were some little things that I personally don't like, and so they kind of added over time, which led to the DNF. And one of the things is I have a hard time with books that have a lot of inner dialogue, especially when it's long inner dialogue. This book had inner dialogue in it, and so I don't know. I don't really enjoy books that have that, or I'll enjoy them less when they do. Including one of the POVs is Matt, and there's something his inner dialogue fell off to me for some reason. And I don't know, I don't know if men take time to think about their feelings. It felt kind of off when Matt would do that. I I don't know, if you are a man watching this, let me know. Do you take time to like think about your feelings? Do you have like an inner dialogue when it comes to your feelings? And I mean, I'm not saying there was a lot of that in this book, but there was something about his inner dialogue that felt off. So, um, I don't know. It didn't fully feel like it matched his personality, maybe, is what I'm trying to say. But that, I don't know, it felt a little off, and the fact that I don't really enjoy reading a lot of inner dialogue. Um, yeah, and some weird thing is, it felt like Matt was always growling, and it was like because he's angry, like it was like an angry, like upset growl. But that it just felt weird because I don't know if men actually do that. I've never witnessed. I don't know, like I know of course men get upset. We all get upset, but like it was kind of weird to hear that. It wasn't like a weird. There's only one that was like a sexual growl. The other ones were just like because he was angry. So that was a little weird to me. It's I'm reading, and I'm like, oh, a dog entered the scene. I'm like, oh no, that's just Matt. Um. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into a little bit of. I don't know if I would call them spoilers, but for a romance book, they are spoilers. And so if you are planning on reading this book, I don't recommend you listening for the next part. You can skip to whatever time I put right here. Um, some of this is gonna be TMI too, but if I have to say it, okay? It's just this is part of the reason why I DNF'd. And okay, so I don't mind when books have like the scene where it's like there's some sort of excuse why this happens. But it's like the man has his shirt off or whatever, and like the woman is like noticing. Um, it's always there's always some sort of excuse, like oh he was hot, he was at the pool, he was someone spilled something on his shirt. There's always some sort of excuse. I don't mind that, but I felt like she was noticing a little too much, and there was a weird comment in her inner dialogue that I was not expecting for a Christian fiction book, so that caught me off guard. Um, there was, you could feel a little bit of the sexual tension. It wasn't like described, but you could feel it a little bit. And, oh, okay. Here's the part that made me upset. And yes, this is gonna be picky and it's gonna scream, I don't read romance, but this just did not make sense to me. It might be a little bit TMI, but so Kate, I think her name is Kate. I feel like everyone's name is Kate when it comes to Christian fiction. I don't know why. Oh, this is a Christian romance, by the way, because it just happened to be one. Um, she has severe asthma, and in fact, there was a day she did not bring her inhaler with her. She went for a walk. She ends up having a severe asthma attack that she ends up in the hospital because she was having a hard time breathing. And so she's in the hospital and then she heals. She comes out of the hospital. I don't know, maybe it's a day later or something. But she and Matt have a moment, and the first thing that Matt does is to like kiss her senseless where like she has to break apart in order to breathe. And my first thought is, she has severe asthma. What are you doing to her? She just came from the hospital because she could not breathe. And then this is how you treat her. Like, I was like, are you dumb? Like, she came from the hospital because she couldn't breathe. She has severe asthma, and the first thing he does is to steal the oxygen from her lungs. Thankfully, she doesn't end up in the hospital again. But I was like, that was stupid. Not only do I not want to read that, but that's stupid. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to push on. I was enjoying this book. I'm going to push on. I'm going to keep reading. But then the very next chapter is Matt's POV, and it's more of his inner dialogue. And I'm like, nope, I can't. I'm done. I'm not bothering with this. So that was a DNF, but yeah. I am very curious though, if you are a man watching this, let me know, like, do you think about your feelings? And I could be very sexist in saying I don't think so. You can come for me in the comments, I don't care. But I mean, it could be a case by case basis, but just like the thinking about his feelings was weird because, especially, okay, I'll say, especially coming from a man who has been hiding his feelings and keeping them inside because he's very reserved and he's dealing with this trauma. So he's been forcing his feelings inside and his trauma inside. And so to read inner dialogue and he's like thinking about, I don't know, there was something that just felt off about it. I will put content warnings in the description. I do my best with those. I don't think I have any more thoughts about that book. Yeah, it was disappointing because I was really enjoying it, but then there were little things that added up. A big part because I'm just a picky person, but yeah. Currently, I'm reading Mind the Gap by Erin Mangum. I realize I've never said her name out loud before. I am 85% through, so I am pretty far with that one too. And there are things that are in this romance that I don't really see with other romances, like the relationship was intentional. There wasn't a lot of like the attraction part. It's more so like emotional attraction over physical attraction, which was really nice to read. They are communicating. Hallelujah, they are communicating. So there's a lot of like this, like the romance is very intentional. However, I am bored. So that's I want to say that's my only critique so far, and that's again a personal thing, is I'm bored and I don't really feel a connection to the story. If you like London, you should read this book. Again, I have not finished it, but yeah, you should. If you like London and you like vacation and visiting places, traveling, that's the word. This is a nice one, and there's also character development over like plot. There's not much of a plot going on. I think that's why I'm having a hard time with this book, but the romance element is actually very good. In the way that it's approached very well. So yes, I'm almost done with that one, hoping to finish it today. This will be towards the end of the video because I'm going to do this in two parts. It's about halfway through the month, so this and to like the beginning of May is going to be part 1, and then I'll do part 2 where I read, I'm guessing, 3 more books. But today I'm going to start I'm going to be starting So Into You by Kathleen Fuller. This is one that I've seen at my library. This is a Christian romance. I don't know how much faith is actually in it, so it could be more so like a clean romance than a Christian one, but I'm excited because this is a buddy read with Whitney, and so I'm so excited. We're gonna be reading through this book, and Whitney is like a dear kindred spirit of mine, and so I'm so excited to be talking about this with her, and we both have more so boundaries when it comes to what we read, when it comes to like romance. So this is gonna be fun to do this with her and try this out. We will try this out together. I'm stumbling on my words. I'm not used to talking so much. But that ends part 1. The goal is to find a book that I enjoy. So I want to say like 4+ stars. I have not found that yet. Right now, Mind the Gap, I am 85%, and right now it's like a 3.5 in my head. And I doubt it'll go up from there. So yeah, I have not had a 4-star book, and that's the goal, is to find a 4-star or more book that's a romance book. So that concludes this. Watch out for part 2 coming out.